Hey guys, welcome back to Contest Prep University. Joe Klemczewski with Adam Atkinson, and we are just going to bulldoze right through these phases of contest dieting in this series up to the metabolic set point phase, which is where we've already hinted at, Adam. People just start to grind to a halt, things slow down, body starts resisting you. Body fat cells are actually becoming depleted to a point where hormonally your central nervous system is saying, okay, let's slow down the metabolism. This is normal metabolic adaptation, but we've got to be ready for it. So when you start seeing this happen in clients, Adam, what is your first move?
Yeah, so this first move is explain to them that this is going to be the toughest part of prep. This is usually a good time where we might implement more diet breaks and things of that nature because the just overall energy crisis the body is suffering through. So, but this is where you really have to be careful and really watch where and how you move these calories. I see this a lot of time where people will up fats really, really high this stage of the game just to get fats down. And that just really doesn't create a great thermic effect. And people think hormonally those fats are going to help them so much. But really, like you were saying, hormonally, it really depends on the body fat cells versus the actual fats that you're consuming. And that's a myth I definitely want to debunk in this episode because I don't know where that comes from, but I hear it so many times that people think that. So with that being said, you know, when people have brain fog and they're going through their cardio, a lot of times they're not as intense about it during this phase. So I might have people break up their cardio morning, night, as long as it fits in their schedule well, or just make sure that I tell them, make sure you're being intense and you're not reading books while doing your cardio, that you're actually getting after it, because you can make 50 minutes of cardio just as intense as 30 minutes, depending on how you do it. If you're doing those steady state sessions, you have to be careful how people recover from HIIT. So I love doing HIIT, but it's only valuable if people recover from it well, or if they can physically push themselves that hard. So it's definitely a balancing act with, you know, all these things we're calculating here and making sure you're just not adding tons of cardio that's really providing the client no benefit at all because they're just not intense about it.
Yeah, perfectly said. One of the things, Adam, that I like that you identified is just to tell the client, this is going to be tough. This is going to be brutal. This is what win shows right here. You don't win a show on contest day. You're going to win it through this toughest phase with your consistency every single day. So even when you don't feel like it, you have to monitor times. I will definitely, as you said, help people move into some longer, lower intensity or moderate intensity because they just need it for their energy. Mm-hmm. But as you mentioned, you know, sometimes you just need to push a little harder and say, you know, can you give me 5 extra minutes of higher intensity work? You know, this again is where we are going to win this thing. But it's also to have the knowledge that it's not going to last forever. And this is a very normal phase. Most people experience something like this. And we have to stay in close contact with your nutrition and make changes. You mentioned that if we afforded enough time, we could have some diet breaks. But if your metabolism is, you know, healthy enough and things are going well, it's just having enough time to make sure you reach that final look with enough time on this side of the contest date. So, you know, do you have any final things or tricks to get them through that?
Get them through that. I think the biggest thing is just a little bit of you know, pushing as a coach. Try to set some goals each week so they can feel like they're succeeding and say, hey, I'd really like to see us be here next week. Also, another trick I like to use is either double refeed, or sometimes I'll do a weekend and midweek refeed, just because it's almost like a carrot that client can chase and they can push for 3 days and have that relief point, and then push 3 or 4 more days and have that relief point. And I think that is really helpful, because when people look at a whole week and they're just seeing their calories are super low, that's not too exciting to wake up Monday morning that way. And if you have, maybe Wednesday or Thursday to look forward to a higher day and maybe a weekend higher day, that can be helpful. Or if you just have, I have some clients that I have multiple refeeds on the weekend, and that works really well for them. It also gives them a chance to store more glycogen and use it for the rest of that training cycle, which puts a little more strut in their step as well. So even though I'm adding calories, they might output more by having that break.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and we're going to talk about the good side now coming up in the next episode, so you guys don't want to miss this one. We're going to move into the metabolic building phase when we catch you in the next episode. We'll see you then.